are live.
Let's
Yo,
go.
so your Mother's Day went pretty good with your mom?
Yes.
Good stuff, good stuff. What did you guys get to do? Did you get her something nice?
I got her a bird feeder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mom's into birds and stuff?
She's a gardening person, but she doesn't really have the, stuff this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got her a bird feeder.
That's nice. I'm going to take my mom out when Naked Gun comes out.
Oh,
I
snap.
told her about it, my dad, and they were all really excited about it. So I told them I'd go take them to
Did
the
you show
movies
him
when
the
it comes out.
trailer?
No, I didn't show them the trailer. I just kind of gave them the rundown, and they were pretty excited. So I'm going to take them when it comes out.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Yeah, we were both,
You're gonna...
we were all a fan of those growing up. So coming
Right.
out, it's a good thing. So perfect timing. Perfect timing.
I trust...
And what is up? Welcome back. It's Sunday night, and you're here with the Average Boys podcast. Today, it's me and my boy Derpy Entertainment from Ohio. I want to say Ohio. Is it Ohio? Do I keep getting that wrong, or do I get that right?
It's from Ohio. How are we doing,
Ohio.
everyone?
How you doing? How are you doing, Derpy?
I'm doing great.
Good. Like I said, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We hope you guys had a great day today. You know, thank you guys for doing what you do and being the superheroes that you are. We really appreciate every mother out there. Derpy, you said you got your mom a bird feeder, and then I know the intro cut you off, but what were you going to say right now?
I was saying I trust Seth MacFarlane.
Nice. Very nice.
Naked Gun.
Well, good stuff, man. I mean, your mom, getting a bird feeder is really cool. My mom's the same way, man. She likes her nature stuff, so she always got her bird feeder and always talking about squirrels and all these other things that go and bother her and take all the food and all that stuff.
She didn't get the gardening stuff this year.
Oh,
So
she didn't?
Got her No, she didn't.
Nice. Well, you got her a little something.
It's been a rough
right?
year for us.
Oh, I get it, dude. I get it. No, I feel
Price
that.
is not very fun this year.
No, dude, definitely not. Definitely not. Hopefully they start to get better, right?
Right.
That's the whole point of all this, politics and crazy things that are going on. Supposed to be getting their jobs done and helping it out. David, what's up in the comment section? Good to see you, my dude. David. Thank you for everybody who's jumping in. Ayo, what is up, Miguel? Good to see you too, man. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to anybody in your guys' lives that's a mom. We appreciate you guys for hopping in and talking and chilling out with us. Like we said, it's Sunday night, and I am joined here with my good friend Derpy, who's been on the show with us literally almost every day for the past like 3 or 4 weeks already.
Yeah,
about, man, and you've been doing pretty good, man. You're getting your persona, which is what is it? Corbin Dallas, my man. Corbin Dallas, my man. Corbin Dallas. But bringing you on is a really great thing, and I know that you're a really big fan of course, wrestling and sports and all the stuff that you look at, and you're a big DC guy, which is super cool. We're going to be talking about some Superman, Supergirl, and some Batman news that came up this past week. Hey yo, Miguel says, "What's up, Derpy?"
What's up, Miguel?
What's up? So yeah, we'll be talking about some DC stuff. Of course, we're going to be talking a little bit about Last of Us, and of course, we're going to be talking about there's a cool theory that went out for the Thunderbolts that I want to bring up and converse. I think the Thunderbolts and where Marvel's going is exciting for what's coming, but scary for what they have to pull off in the small amount of time that we've been talking about. So, with that, of course, we have first part of the conversation is Derpy. How did it feel? I mean, you're kind of like a movie guy, right? You're probably more of a movie guy than I am. And you would get along really, really well with our boy Robert, because Robert's Biggie's always at the theaters, man. Always at the theaters. Me, I'm not so much. Only on specific times that I get to go watch movies on when I really, really have a choice and really want to do something, which was exactly like Thunderbolts. But before that, geez, I don't even remember what movie I went to go see, to tell you the truth. But it's probably like a superhero movie, because I'm very particular about what I go watch. But it felt very weird. during the coronavirus and all that stuff, of course, movie theaters were kind of obsolete, just
Right.
like all the other businesses were at the time. So I don't know if you recall, but they were starting to do it was Black Widow, which is the one that they did this for, but they allowed it to be streamed at home the same day it was supposed to be released in theaters, right?
I do remember this, but I'm not sure which movie it was, but
It,
it
it was
probably was
Black
Black.
Widow because I was like, because it made really a good amount of money for the situation that the world was in.
I thought it was
Um,
Suicide Squad too.
Suicide Squad also, I think, it was able to be streamed, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was
like
supposed to be
early.
released in theaters. I think it was optional at the time. But what was really crazy during that situation, in my opinion, was after you know that there was an opportunity for you not to leave your house and see movies that were being released at the theater at home through a streaming service. I kind of felt that the return to the box office and theater was going to be a really hard sell for people
Right.
because I feel, and this is my opinion, and I'd like to get your opinion on this too. I feel like the convenience of being able to watch a new released film at your home
Oh,
is
like yeah.
way better, in my opinion, than going to the theater. I want to get your opinion on this. What do you think?
I mean, you're probably right. It's easier at home for stream, but
Mhm.
there's nothing like going to the movie theaters though.
Okay,
There
that makes
really
sense.
isn't.
No, I mean
Unless,
that's
unless
absolutely
you're a unless you're very want to be conservative with your money. But
correct. Miguel in the comment section is like, I just pirate the movies.
that's what I just I was laughing at.
That's fucking awesome. Good job, Miguel. I love that. I love our
But
people in the comment section. David's like,
I
fuck
feel
people.
like there's nothing else than going to the movie theaters because it's an experience.
Okay, I 100% agree with that. There is something to it, but it's very weird. And I think it's because partially, even though I'm a very outgoing person, in my regular life outside of podcasting and being around my personal friends, I'm very much an introvert. It
Right.
sounds weird as shit because I'm always doing something. But if it was usually places I have to be is where I go. But if I have a day of freedom that I don't have to do anything, I'm almost 100% by myself. Yeah, Miguel too. Like I'm the same way. I'm at Dollar
Exactly. Like
General buying fucking snacks. Look,
yeah.
dude. Look, I'm banging a bag of Skittles. I'm drinking a fucking Lipton Fusion. I just told I just told Derpy, he was like, "What'd you eat for dinner?" And I was like, "The little turkey bites, beef jerkies from the Dollar General." And I bought a look literally, dude. I bought a big ass water from the Dollar General
You
because I
bought a
drink a lot of
bigger water bottle.
yeah, a bigger one than the last time. Um, I'm
Probably
very
had a
much an
field day for
introvert.
that.
Like I'm very much like I'll go to a park and I'll sit there by myself, or even like I want to say Friday night. I had some stuff and some errands I needed to do by myself, so I went and did them. And then when I was done, I pulled up on like some Italian restaurant and I just ate by myself.
That's a
Like I
vibe.
just ate by myself, and
That's a
yeah,
vibe,
like
Chris.
it felt kind of weird because you can almost feel like people looking at you kind of awkward because you're
Right.
just there sitting there. And I mean, I'm not like a normal looking dude. I got like a weird mohawk and like, I look like a weird guy by myself. But I prefer that.
You're
And
living the
then
life though.
yeah, yeah. And I prefer and like and sometimes I'll just pick up conversations with people that are there, like the waiter or whatever. They'll just be like, "Hey, you're by yourself? What's up?" And I was like, "Well, I enjoy being by myself and I enjoy just indulging in the food and really understanding it. I don't need to put a fucking weird uh YouTube TikTok video about, oh, look at me at this restaurant, take my opinion that this place is the best or whatever. I
Right.
I just like to, I just like to enjoy the moment. When I'm with people, I enjoy it too, but I don't I used to do that by myself when I would go to theaters prior coronavirus and I'd go see movies because I really wanted to like watch the movie and really be involved. And I don't know if it's the current standing in the way films are being made that I'm not agreeing with, or the theater experience, like we said, where the theater experience has become a chore rather than an experience. Like I like that they have like bars, like you can buy a drink and chill out and converse with people who don't really want to converse back because they're usually going with their families or they're with their dates or whatever. They're not going to talk to some random guy with a mohawk at a bar for no reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the expense of the movie theater is something that
Right.
just doesn't make sense to me anymore.
I would agree.
Do you think that right now, and the reason why I ask is because AMC just released like their yearly or their like quarterly
Funding.
numbers, and everything is low across the board. Movie going's low.
That's because AMC's like the top notch, most expensive one.
Is that what it is? Am I just
I
am
would
I just
assume
really
so.
like it's like the fucking Ferrari of movie theaters?
It's like, I want to say, like, there's IMAX, Dolby, and all that, and then
Hmm.
there's AMC,
And then there's
and
AMC.
then there's the regular theaters like
I like how
Cinemark, Regal, and
I like how Miguel says in the comment sections, "You're very brave. I can never go to a restaurant and eat by myself." That's super funny. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense, right? Because that is like another variation of being an extrovert or an introvert.
right.
Like if you're going to be by yourself, you're not going to go to a location where there's a large amount of people and be there by yourself because you're going to be um you're going to get a lot of attention for no acquired reason when you don't even want that. David says being by yourself is awesome. I can get what I want when I want. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
absolutely correct. No compromise. That's funny. But like, that's a really good point too, because the point that Miguel makes is if I'm going to be by myself, why would I need to go to the theater? Like, why would I need to go anywhere? And for me, I
That's
go
fair.
because it actually makes me a little bit more not anxious when there's a lot of movement and a lot of sound going on. Like I prefer to be in places like that. So that would be like if that's like the Barnes and Nobles. Like when you go to Barnes and Nobles, you just sit there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that vibe that makes me happy. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to be with anyone. I sit there. There's a bunch of people doing their thing and they're moving around. Some people are doing homework. Other people are just running around. People are talking to each other. It just makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel comfortable. So I don't mind that. But I do understand where Miguel says, I don't feel like I would be brave enough to do that. Like I understand that and I respect that too. But that goes to show like so movie theaters, if you're not really doing dates or you're not like a social person and you're not with people, more than likely you're probably going to go out there by yourself. But you look at the price of tickets. Tickets are how much at AMC? Like
I
15?
don't know. Probably like 15,
I want to say that
16.
that's the base number of the regular ticket. And then from
Right.
there it climbs as
There's
you
a
do.
subscription service too.
Yeah. And with the subscription service, I feel like it helps you out. Like it's pretty good. It kind of correlates the same way it is like with, I don't know, like the Taco Bell app, right?
Right.
Like the more things you buy at normal price, the cooler little things you get. Which is like if you go see like with AMC, I think it's like they give you like 2 movies for free every month. You pay the AMC price, which is what is it? AMC subscription cost? Uh, it's oh, not too bad. An AMC Plus subscription costs $6.99 a month, and for the ad, what? And for the ad supported plan or $9.99, is that for like a fucking streaming service? No, man, I'm talking about the subs. Oh, $17.99 a year, a cost. Join the low cost of 17.99 plus tax slash year and watch your membership pay itself. Okay, so that's not too bad. What is that, like 17 a month?
Yeah.
If David, if not David, if Rob was here, he could tell me because he's got that plan, and so does Brian. And I
I got
think
the Cinemark
Brian,
one.
which one?
The Cinemark one.
You have that one?
Yeah.
And how's that one?
I gotta read it. I believe it's you get a movie a month, like a ticket a month.
Okay. I like what David says. David in the comments says, the theater will soon be gone. Like Redbox. Cut off the middleman, make it an app. Boom, money. No wages, no expenses. But don't you think, because David's a money man, he understands business.
Right.
If you cut theaters out, studios are going to get hit pretty fucking hard. Right? Movie theaters, because they're not going to be making the money that they were making with the theater because they charge a percentage off of the theater with the ticket prices. Right?
Yes.
So then let's say you look at everyone that goes to a theater, they pay the $15 every time someone goes to the movies. If you put those movies on streaming services, I don't know how much you would have to have. What kind of deal would they have to make? Would it be the same? You think it could be the same way?
There it is. I got it.
What is it?
It's 1 2D ticket per month, 20% off concessions.
20% off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is like the regular standard one.
I mean, mind you, a bottle of water.
Unused tickets roll over, means she's like, if I don't use a ticket for a month.
That's actually pretty good.
They add on to it.
Yeah, I think the roll-on is very important for them to have. What do you think the movie theater needs to do to be more successful in this situation? What do you feel? Or what do you think they need to change?
Probably. Maybe snacks. Less amount of snacks.
That's a good point. Yeah, make the concession less expensive, right? Make it more appealing or make it more approachable.
Yeah.
You know what would be pretty fucking dope? What if they did it like a drive-through and they just allowed you like one day, let's pick like a Tuesday. Like let's say like Tuesday's like the weirdest, boringest day at a movie theater, even Monday.
Right.
Right. But like after 7 o'clock for the evening time, which would give people, or actually, I would say like let's say like 5:30. After 5:30, it's BYOS. Bring your own snacks. And
that's a reasonable deal.
You know what I mean? Like that would be really, dude. That would be even thinking about it out loud. Like let's say there has to be some type of limit, right? Like you can't be like bring your own snacks. And then someone walks in with like 15 Little Caesars pizzas. You know what I mean? Like you have to put some kind of cap on it. Like I would say you could do snacks, but no warm foods.
I agree.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You could let's say you could bring sodas, nothing above 20 ounce, which is just a regular bottle or whatever. Maybe even like a can of soda. Let's see this one, which is, look, so this can, and this is like it's like a monster can if you think about it.
Yeah.
Look, that's 16 fluid ounces. That's 16 fluid ounces. So that's if you say 20 ounces, that's pretty good. Because that's what David says. Oh, a 90s night. One throwback movie with throwback prices and limited seats. Yeah, there we go. So you have to have some kind of catch. And the catch is like, it has to benefit the theater in some way. They sell the ticket for the normal prices. The concession goes down, but you only allow it for the first like 20 people or whatever.
Right.
The 90s night sounds good. One throwback movie with throwback prices. That sounds so great. And limited seats. Limited seats would be dope. Like just like maybe like out of a theater that sits 50, do like 30. You know what I mean? Cut it small. It's an opportunity. It's opportunities what knocks. Miguel says, or change a extra $5 charge. Let them bring their own snack, and you can bring anything: tamales, menudo, spaghetti, etc. That's fucking wild. But I mean, Can you imagine? Can you imagine going to a theater and you're there chilling out, and all of a sudden you smell like someone behind you with like a botana, like a big
That'd be
dish of
wild.
like Mexican food, like going crazy, or like a bucket, a box of chicken from fucking churches or Popeyes or KFCs or something like that. Just out of this
Scary
world,
movie.
yeah,
Like
out
a
of this
scary movie.
world kind of food, right? I think that
Yeah.
would
Do you
be a
remember
little too
Scary Movie,
much.
Chris?
Scary movie, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Where
remember.
she
Didn't the
brings.
lady
I
bring
think
it
it's.
or something?
Yeah, she did that.
Yeah, I remember that shit. Oh, this was a funny movie. I think that would be a little too bad. And the reason why it's ridiculous, you look at what happened during the Minecraft movie with the kids bringing popcorn and they fucked the whole place up.
Yeah.
And that sucks because then the workers have to like they have to clean up all that shit. I feel bad for those guys sometimes because
Oh, and by the way, my Minecraft made 900 million.
900 million, almost a bill.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's crazy.
Budget was 150.
I remember I was one of those people that was like, this is gonna suck. It's stupid.
You were
I
dead
eat
wrong.
my fucking words. Wow, that's crazy. But
900 million.
but you can imagine, right? Let's say a group of people come in and they bring like a fucking, I don't know, like a fucking 60-inch pizza, just a ginormous piece
Right.
of shit.
Right.
And then there's just shit all over the place. And the workers are the ones that have to clean it up.
Right.
Mind you, at the AMC theater that we went to go see Thunderbolts,
Yeah.
the chairs aren't reclinable, or yeah, they weren't reclinable. Like they just like swing back where you can kind of like lay back, but not like the badass ones from like the automated ones, the ones that you can like recline and get real comfortable with, right? And
That's
this
what my
was
theater does.
the IMAX, mind you. So it was the fucking.
I've never been to an IMAX.
It was cool. I mean, it's just a big theater. It's just a bigger screen. And then the other problem was like you could see it across all of the chairs, and I don't know if it's the AMC's fault or what, but the felt was already coming off of the chairs.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? So like you had like these balding spots on all the chairs across the room, which again, that means the theater, of course, needs to like maybe renovate and get some like newer chairs or kind of like get it. But that kind of gives you an idea of if you were to bring food, like hot foods into this place, and let's say like Miguel said, menudo or spaghetti. Okay, so menudo is like a Mexican version of chicken soup, right? But it's not chicken. It's like, um, what is it? Those little peas. I don't even know what they're called. But it's like pig stuff, right? Like pigs, like pork, or even spaghetti. Imagine fucking you're feeding 4 people and one of them's like a 10-year-old kid and he just spills all that shit across the seats.
Yeah.
And that's going to accumulate and you're going to just have a fucking horrible mess on these chairs. Because of course people, when they bring kids and kids just eat and fucking drop and do a bunch of stuff, you know, they don't care. The parents aren't going to care about the furniture. You know, no one's going to take care of the place. That's the overarching problem with the situation about warm foods in a theater. But if you're doing like snacks like Skittles or like candies or like I said, beef jerky or whatever, it's not chicken. And you just fuck. I don't know what it is. I can't even remember what menu it is. I know it's pork. I swear to God, I know it's pork. But yeah, you're gonna ruin the establishment itself by making it a place where people just don't want to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many is that? What it is? Is that the little squishy things? Yeah, I think it's something like that. I know exactly what you're talking about, but like pozole. Like pozole is another one. Oh man, dude, Derpy, if you ever come down south, man, you're gonna get some pozole, dude. It's another. It's a good soup. It's just a really good soup. But like I was saying, like I think that's a fucking fantastic idea. Me thinking about that, like if you were gonna tell me, hey, dude, for the month of August, AMC's allowing people on Tuesday nights to go in and take their own bag of Skittles and drinks, as long as you're not bringing a 3 liter of soda or a 1 liter, it has to be 20 ounces and below. And you can bring any size bag of candy or snacks that you want that you can pick up and carry on your own. And that's it. Like I would be like, fuck yeah, point me in the right direction.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'll watch every fucking movie. I'll spend money on that. But I don't think they do that because they're in a position right now that I think that the studios that are releasing the films are taking too much from the theater and percentage of what they're getting. I think that's the situation that's going on in AMC, and that's why the price of the tickets and the price of the concession goes up in price because the establishment itself has to make the money of running the theater, and the theater is like, it's $1 million company, man. You got to keep that price high. So I think the AMC has to fold. And I think the only way it folds is everything collapses. I don't know. It kind of sucks. But yeah, I kind of felt really awkward this past time going to see the Thunderbolts with how low of people were there in population, I guess. And then to hear, oh yeah, what about you? What was it like for you going to the movies?
I went to a different theater than my regular one.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't that many, but it was still a good experience.
Okay. Do you feel like there was less people from what you remember when you were like younger?
Yeah.
Okay. Because like,
because the last movie I saw in that theater was Ragnarok, actually.
oh, and that was during a good time. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
But you know what
Even
I
though I
feel?
don't like it. Even though I don't like it.
I feel that when I was younger and I went to go see the prequels,
Right.
that was an event.
I would agree.
That was like I could
Endgame,
remember that day. I
Infinity
could,
War were
and the
events.
same thing with like the Marvel Endgame and Infinity War, right?
Yeah, they were events.
They were events. Like I could remember almost literally everything that happened that day in the theater. Which I mean, if you
remember
compare that to any other movie, it's very, very difficult to remember things from that day.
Batman vs Superman was an event too, but you know how
Mhm.
that ended.
Oh, I mean, but that's like that's a like because it wasn't like really like it wasn't accepted very well by a lot of the population, right? Like a lot of people didn't
Right.
like it. You had a lot of
But it
things going
still
on.
was an event.
But as a personal
Because it was
person, like
against my
that
mind.
it was still nice to get that
Right.
we're at that moment in history, right? That was
Right.
like me with this century shit. Like I was really excited to see it. And I was happy I saw it. And and now he's there. It's an impact in the universe. It's ready to go and it's never gonna go away. But like now, like I just it just didn't feel as big.
Right.
It didn't feel as big. But yeah, I kind of feel like, with theaters being in trouble, it's kind of important to understand that, I don't feel like theaters are in the right mind to keep going at the moment. And I just wanted to bring it up because I wanted your opinion to see if like maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe it's just like, I don't know.
No, I agree. It's I went on a Thursday
Mm-hmm.
before and there was absolutely nobody.
Just dead, right?
It was dead.
Do you think it's the
It was
current
dead.
dynamics of how the films are
I
being made?
No, it's post COVID and the prices, the amount of nobody wants to spend either
Mm-hmm.
because
That's
it's
a good
too
point.
pricey in the economy.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You know what? Speaking of movie theaters and the Thunderbolts,
Yes.
look, I still have my cool little keychain they gave me.
New Avengers.
Yeah, Max. The new Avengers. Yeah, I saw that thing that they were doing. We've given it enough time. We talked spoilers a little bit on the last show when we all saw it. We gave it some pretty solid reviews. Me and the boys and yourself. Um, but we didn't really get to talk about what we were theorizing on things, right?
Right.
The last thing that we were going to talk about with the Thunderbolts was the post credit scene. The post credit scene dealt with
I was the only one hyped, man.
yeah,
In that theater.
everyone's hyped.
No, I was the only one screaming about it in the theater.
Really? So nobody else really they were like, what the fuck is going on?
Nobody else was in my theater was like,
That's funny. Everyone's
"Oh,
like
it's Fantastic Four."
everyone's like, the fuck is that?
Yeah, I was the only one.
So I'll pick up the picture real quick. It's just a picture. I don't want to play a video or nothing like that. Open a new window. Oh. So, oh, TikTok. Of course, it's TikTok.
us now.
So, come on, dude. It's got to be here somewhere.
Or trying to sing the teaser trailer theme.
Right. So at the ending of the credits, I can't find it. I'm trying to find just a picture of it, but everything is a fucking video because everybody wants to spoil everything. So at the ending of the post credit scenes for Thunderbolts, you have a what is it? The ship. Oh, thank
The ship.
you, Kilo
Yeah.
Thrast, for coming in, man. Thank you so much for giving us a thumbs up. Appreciate you from
From my-
YouTube. Thank you so much. We're streaming right now to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. So we have the post credit scene. In the post credit scene, Yelena, the Thunderbolts, they're all in the new now established Avengers Tower.
14th.
They all have their whole new costumes, which are almost comic book accurate for most of them, especially Bucky. And there's two things that they say in this part, right?
Right.
One of them is Yelena says there's a crisis in space.
I missed that.
Yo, you didn't hear that part?
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, Yelena says they say that there's something that just entered the Earth's atmosphere or broke the dimensional barrier into the Earth's atmosphere. And then Yelena goes, I mean, what is it? Like, it's not the crisis in space. Like, what else can it be? And then Bucky's like, oh, open this and that. You could see. And they're like, for reals? And they're like, yeah, just do this. And she hits the button or tells the computer to open the thing. And you see a ship, and the ship is the Fantastic Four.
The theme.
Yeah, man. It's the Fantastic Four or whatever, right? So yeah. I'll share the picture of it from right here. It's right here. So let me get to it. It's this right here. Fantastic Four or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So the ship flies in and they're looking at it. What's up?
That's a good theme for them, though.
Yeah, I think it's. I like the theme. So the ship is flying in. And then it kind of like does this like rotation, and when it rotates, it of course shows the Fantastic Four emblem, and then the music starts with the Fantastic Four, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. And a lot of people were like, "Holy shit! What's up, John? My boy, my best friend from
John.
Chrissy. What's up, John? My boy. That's my boy since like junior high, man. We've known each other for like decades, dude. So like I was saying, the ship comes in, rotates, shows the Fantastic Four. Everyone's like, what the heck? And then credits, Fantastic Four music and all this stuff. Exciting.
Yeah.
Of course, when we saw this, I'm leaving the theater and I'm like, holy shit, like I can't believe Marvel just did that. And I was kind of confused. And the reason why is because in my mind, I'm kind of looking at it like it's casually a spoiler. Right. And a lot of people were saying this across the board because they're like, oh, well, this means the Fantastic Four leaves their planet. In the trailer, you could see like a planet exploding and they're in the ship. And then they just kind of like, oh, well, you know, fuck this place. And they bounce off into another multiverse or whatever. What if that's not the case? Because that doesn't sound very heroic for a Fantastic Four group, right?
Right.
For them to be like, oh, well, shit, looks like Galactus is eating this place. Well, I guess fuck them all. Bye.
I mean, like, I heard this months ago, though.
What'd you hear?
Like, they're going to lose in the movie.
To Galactus, right?
Yeah.
I heard that too. That's why it's kind of like a lot of people were jumping at the theory that the ship is that Fantastic Four group coming into the world after they've escaped Galactus destroying their entire universe, which that doesn't really make a lot of sense if you think about it, because Galactus only eats one planet at a time.
Right.
So he's not even destroying a universe. He's just destroying a planet. And if you think of like comic book history, it's not far-fetched that the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, can save a planet. Like that's kind of like it's kind of an F for him. He could do that. It's usually the multiverse or the universe itself that becomes an issue. So we're dealing with a situation that, like, okay, one, and this is a theory. I'm not going to bring up the theory yet, but I'm going to bring up points before the theory. One, do we think an intro to the Fantastic Four being the first family and the greatest heroes on a planet, their first movie should be the establishment that they cannot do hero shit and not save the universe and have to escape and leave everybody, like billions of people, to die?
Well, isn't the Fantastic Four kind of like a joke in the comics, though?
What do you mean?
Like they always lose
No,
or
not
something.
necessarily. Like when it comes to their heroes, they don't lose. Reed Richards fails a lot because he overanalyzes shit and he doesn't know how to do like he doesn't know how to stop himself. He's like Iron Man in Age of Ultron. I don't know if you remember that, where Age of Ultron, everyone was like, Tony, quit fucking making robots that go evil. And he's like, come on, man, but
Yeah.
I just got to do it again. I got to do one more because I want to protect the earth or put an armor around the earth. He's always got these stupid ideals. And that's him being like they call him a futurist, right? That's Jeremy Renner. He's in the big water. What is it? The prison that they have in the ocean. I can't even think of it on the.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah, but he's there, and that's when Tony
But I get
Stark's
what you're
walking
talking
around, and he's like, "Tony Stark, folks, the futurist," because he's always trying to prevent problems in the future, and that's where he kind of hurts himself, and that's what Reed Richard is. If you ever go back to the comic books, I think a lot of people kind of get like a generalized idea of the Fantastic Four, and a lot of people know about what they call the Council of Reeds, right?
Right.
The Council of Reeds is a small pocket multiversal dimension where all the Reed Richards from all the multiverses just get together. And if you want to get an idea of it, it's very similar to the Council of Kangs at the end of Ant-Man and the Quantumania movie. It's just a big open room, bunch of Kangs all excited. There's a couple of them that are like the leaders, and a lot of them are just like cheering it on and just excited to get together. And then Doom has a whole ass thing too, where he's got like a council of dooms, and they're really weird guys. The multiverse is very weird in the comics. But Reed always has this, and what makes the 616 Reed Richards different from all the other Reed Richards in the comics is our Reed Richards of the 616 cares about Sue Storm. All the other Reed Richards gave their families up so that they could be prominent scientists in their universe. Ours was like, what? You don't have your family with you? You're fucking assholes or whatever. And then, if I'm not mistaken, in the comic books, like out of nowhere, the Celestials, but they're called the Mad Celestials, come in, and they just fuck the whole like Council of Reeds up. A bunch of them die, and Franklin has to come in, and it's real crazy, right? But
they'll never do that in the movies, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't think we'll get that, but I think there may be a possibility that we may get a Spider-Man No Way Home of all the previous Reed Richards.
I would agree.
You know what I mean? Because there's no reason not to. I mean, you're bringing all the Fox people back, and if I'm not mistaken,
they'll do it at some point, Chris.
Yeah, like I just feel like that just seems like an interesting idea, but you don't really see them lose on that scale. You know, Galactus has been stopped in the comic book several times. In fact, like the first time that Reed and the Fantastic Four meet with him, they stop him. And it's really weird the way the comic books are, the Fantastic Four, because the villains are never really truly villainous. Like they're not villains. They're always like I don't know, like rivals. They're always like rivals of Reed Richards and his intelligence. But they don't mind working with him when necessary. Yeah, does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Because there's times where even Galactus will be like, Reed Richards, I must speak to you. I'm having trouble getting a date on Friday night or some stupid shit, right? Like something like that.
I'm hoping they don't kill him off in this movie, though.
It's always something really wacky, right?
Right. I'm hoping they don't kill him off this movie. This Fantastic.
Yeah, that would really be shit, dude. If they just killed off Galactus.
Because I've been waiting so long to see Galactus on screen. Properly.
But you know what? You got to take into consideration if they were doing a collaboration of the Secret Wars, the old school one and the new school one.
That's what I'm.
Galactus is still a bitch in both of them.
Right.
Right. In the first one,
deal about it.
The Beyonder knocks him out.
Right.
Remember, and he just collapses and falls on the ground, and Doom's like, "Whoa, what the fuck? This guy just got decked in the jaw, and he's out."
Right.
And then the second one, the big Secret Wars, which is the Jonathan Hickman one, he's like Franklin Richards' couch. Like he's just chilling out.
Big deal in the Secret Wars, though.
What's up?
I thought he was a big deal in the Secret Wars.
The only part that he
Galactus.
plays in the Secret Wars of Hickman is
Wasn't it like a conversion or something?
he gets into a fist fight with the Thing,
That's
and
right.
and then he kills the Thing.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's literally the only thing that he does. Other than that, Franklin Richards is either sitting in his hand and he just looks cool in the background. Because the Galactus is almost like he's like on fire, like his head's on fire. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's like it's visually stunning. It's gonna look amazing if they pull this shit off on screen. But he doesn't really play a big role. Doesn't play a big role.
I'm hoping they don't kill him off though.
So what I think is, what if the Galactus concept is happening across the board? That since incursions are happening,
That's the word, incursions.
the incursions, yeah. If since incursions are happening across the multiverse in some way, what if when the incursion begins, it sparks some kind of like universe-ending event? Because I think it's very important that what's her face, Yelena's character says, "Oh, and the crisis that's going on in space," right? What if, and I'm just going to shoot this in the dark, because the reason why in the comic books we have Franklin Richards born with that much power is because the cosmic control rod, or the cosmic rod that Annihilus uses, is in the hands of the Reed family, of Reed's family. So apparently, like, the powers of the cosmic rod gives Franklin Richards his powers. That's why he's a cosmic being of that nature. And I don't know if you're familiar with the cosmic rod that what's his face Annihilus uses.
I'm not.
It's extremely strong. It's a powerful artifact that's in the negative verse. Annihilus is this. Let me bring him up real quick. I don't even know how to spell his name, but Annihilus. There he is. It's this guy. So Annihilus is this character, and he runs this thing called the Annihilus Wave. The Annihilus Wave is a universal cancer that kills everything in the universe that it gets to. It's just a bunch of, like, consider this guy like in charge of the xenomorphs.
It sounds like the Anti-Monitor.
Yeah, well, like kind of like the Anti-Monitor in a way. Yeah, because the Anti-Monitor is in the same aspect, but this guy isn't like a cosmic villain. He's literally the king or the ruler of what they call the negative verse, right?
Yeah.
And that's all. And the reason why he's there is because he's in charge of the Annihilus Wave, which is a bunch of bugs. That's literally what it is. So consider it like
a bunch of bugs.
Yeah, bunch of bugs. Literally what it is.
Yeah.
Bunch of bugs. And they literally just go through the very Cthulhu, very like just running through the universe, just eating everything. But the problem is the numbers of this thing is just so out of control. Out of control how big it is.
They wouldn't do that.
Well,
they'll never do that in Marvel.
So let me raise this as the thing, because we understand Galactus is there. And Galactus has fallen to these guys too. What if something like the incursion sparks the immediate destruction and movement of these things across the universe for it to figure out some way to escape? And this is the crisis in space, and we've already had conversations.
You mean in the Fantastic Four movie, Chris?
What's up?
In the Fantastic Four movie?
No. I think this is the crisis that's coming for the first part of Doomsday World in space. I think this is who the Guardians are fighting in space. And that's why we've heard conversations of Nova.
That's actually not a bad theory.
That would make a lot of sense, because the two major villains of Annihilus, or the three, are the Fantastic Four, Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill's Guardians,
yeah,
and Nova. And we've heard conversations that they're interested in bringing Nova, but they don't know how yet. He was supposed to be an Endgame. They didn't know how to put him
Really?
in. Yeah, they didn't know how to put him in. But
I think we'll figure it out.
if you say, like, let's say by chance, an incursion is happening in the year in the universe itself has several months to survive. So everyone's clamoring at kill everything, get off planet.
Right.
Or even the theory of that Annihilus and the negative is one of the incursions, and that's how they get to our planet. And the theory is from the comic books that to stop an incursion, you must simply destroy the other planet.
That's what I've heard.
So what if that's the thing? What if when the Fantastic Four is coming in, there's already an incursion happening, and the incursion is our planet, which is the 616 or whatever the universe is for the MCU, versus the negative zone, and Annihilus is trying to come in and destroy the entire universe. Like that could be the situation in space. And that gives you the concept of the Fantastic Four coming in, working alongside the Avengers and everybody to stop Annihilus, because in the comic books they have to stop the other universe. They have to destroy the other universe. And it's like the Annihilus wave situation is like, man, it's
a bad theory, but I think you're overthinking it again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just shooting out in the dark. I just know that there has been talks that there was even a conversation that Henry Cavill was supposed to play this guy.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So right now, the conversation for him was either
him as a villain. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, he would either be Annihilus or the Beyonder, which I see even more. The Beyonder, this guy, because that looks like Henry Cavill. If you really think about it, doesn't that look like Henry Cavill? Look.
It does.
That you can't say that doesn't look like Henry Cavill. So the theory is like Henry Cavill's supposed to play this guy, but if you bring this guy in, I don't know what place Doctor Doom's gonna play. Because I thought he was supposed to be this. So again, a lot of the times I'll go by what I hear and kind of place it into the comic books. Right?
Right.
We know that Secret Wars, the one, which was in the 80s or whatever, or Secret Wars 2 or whatever, deals with this guy. And his thing was put superheroes and supervillains against each other. Whoever gets on top gets to wish for whatever they want. Like whatever they want across the board. The second one didn't deal with the Beyonder, but it dealt with a group of aliens called the Beyonders who were doing an experiment on the different multiverses. And at the end of it, had a plan to just say, okay, like, do you remember, what was that fucking movie with the aliens, with the engineers? You remember Prometheus? Prometheus,
yes.
Okay, so consider the Beyonders like the Prometheus guys. What they do is they go somewhere, they plant their seeds, they let that population like begin and flourish, and they see where it goes. And when it gets to a point that they don't care anymore, they just destroy that planet. That's what the Beyonders do. That's what the Beyonders do in this situation. So in that one,
like the High Evolutionary does.
Yeah, pretty much the same way. Pretty much, right? But what this does is, in that, instead of making it a championship between bad guys versus good guys, you just put them on the board. You put a group of bad guys that survive and a group of good guys that survive. And then you see where they go in society and how they overthrow a person who's got ultimate power, which is Doom. Because you have the two life rafts, the one with Reed Richards and all the other heroes, and then you have the Cabal and Thanos' group. So like it does have some kind of similarities to the original Secret Wars storyline, but it's kind of more detailed because Hickman's a G, man. Like the guy writes great stories.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, but I think we said this earlier when we were off camera. How do they pull this shit off in like this small amount of time? Because this is huge. There's a lot of setup, dude. It's a lot of setup.
Supposed to be a two-parter for Secret Wars.
I think it's man, dude, it's so difficult for me to even comprehend this idea because Doctor Doom, right?
And like I said, I don't know how. I mean,
I can't even spell.
you knew how everyone handled Infinity War and Endgame, of
Yep.
course. I don't know how the audience will handle
How it kind of
the
plays out,
cosmic
right?
side, this
See, because
cosmic
this
side
is
of Marvel. You know what I mean?
100%.
I don't know how they'll handle it because it might get too confusing.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get really confusing for a lot of people. I really do, because first off, this name of this Doctor Doom has been going around for a minute, and he
Like
has
they don't even know who Doom is. Most people don't even know that Robert Downey Jr. is Doom,
as Doom.
and they
So
don't even.
in this comic book, no, in the comic book with Doctors or this one, I don't even remember what it's called, but he has a group of like multiversal Avengers. They're like stupid overpowered. Like you have like a Wolverine that's like I forgot what it is, but he's called like there it was. Oh man, I messed up. There it is. So let me open this one up. Open and
Is that
I'll open it
the
up right here with you guys. Yeah, let me open it up because it's silly, dude. There it is. So these are the people with Supreme
are those
Doom.
Eternals?
The what?
Are those Eternals or not
No, these are
Eternals?
not. These are normal characters. That's King Killmonger, which is the Destroyer, the God Destroyer armor with Killmonger, which is just crazy as hell. Because that's the Killmonger is the dude that was in Black Panther 1, the villain. Remember that guy? Michael
Yeah,
Jamal White, Michael B. Jordan, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
So his character with his mindset, but you're giving him the armor of the first Thor movie, the guy with the laser that comes out of his mouth. Do you remember that guy?
No.
Do you remember the first Thor movie?
Oh yeah,
Remember
Lord Zed.
the big silver suit guy that shoots the laser out of his face?
Yeah, I call him Lord Zed.
Yeah, you give him that armor. That's fucking crazy, dude. The next one is the Black Skull, which is the Venom symbiote on the Red Skull. You have the Dark
That's
Phoenix, which
crazy.
is yeah. You see what I'm talking about? Even the
That's
Berserker.
OP.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of insane characters, right? Insane. The Ghost Goblin, you have the Ghost Rider infused with Norman Osborn, and then you have young Thanos. And
No.
a lot of people, yeah, I'm telling you, dude, it's fucking wild. If I'm not mistaken, the chick that's the Dark Phoenix, that's the girl that is married to Mystique in the X-Men in Krakoa. She can see the future. She literally can see the future. And she has the
I'm,
Dark Phoenix. Come on, man. You don't need that kind of
I'm
power.
waiting on Ghost Rider to come to the MCU.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy though, right? So these
That's
are a
actually
bunch of
my
crazy
favorite
characters,
character.
and they're apparently going after what was it? It was Avenger Prime. Do you ever hear about this?
No.
Avenger Prime, which is a Loki from a universe that killed his Thor, who is the Loki that's apparently the god of whatever the fuck stories or whatever they want to call it, which is the one that came out in the fucking Loki TV show. You remember at the end? You remember at the shit when he fucking grabs all the storylines and put them all together and shit?
I didn't watch Loki.
Good, because it's great, but it's stupid because again, it goes off this comic book, and it's still new. There's nothing about this comic book that gave anybody the opportunity to even like it. So, mind you, there's Thor up top, Jane Foster, who is a Valkyrie now. I don't even know who the fuck this is. That looks like the guy that's part of the one with the knuckles. That's from Thor's comic book line. Vision, who looks like a crazy, he hasn't eaten in a couple weeks kind of guy. You have Captain Marvel, and then you have. I want to say that this is Drax's daughter. I think her name's Moondragon. She's like a
Moondragon.
sidekick. She does a bunch of stuff. She's dating the little girl that comes out in the Guardians of the Galaxy in the last movie with the white hair. She dates her when she becomes an adult. They date.
Dang.
And then these three are all of Thor's daughters in the future. And then, of course, I don't know if you see this. Here's an arm of a Thor, which is probably Odin, because they have the Avengers like 1 million or whatever the fuck they call them. But these are all part of like that story that protect the Avenger Prime character, which is the Loki, and then the Doom and him fight, which I've heard this in like through the grapevine that apparently Loki's gonna show up and that's when like Thor is gonna die and that Doom's supposed to be fighting Loki. And I think that's all based on this comic book story, which came out like not even 3 years ago. Man, it's a lot, dude. It really is a lot for the shit that's been going on. If you really think about it, that's a lot of stuff, dude. I'm very confused as to how they're gonna pull this all off, dude. I'm extremely confused. But I guess, yeah, it is what it is. For them to have the two life rafts, let's say Marvel life raft, Thanos, and Reed. There's two life rafts. One of them has the heroes, right? Which the heroes are, of course, you see here. It's Peter Quill, who of course is on Earth with Vision. Jane Foster as Thor, who right now is a Valkyrie in Valhalla. Captain Marvel, which is in space, I'm guessing still. Spider-Man, and Cyclops with the Phoenix Force. Look, he's right there. Look, he's right there. That's nuts because there is no Phoenix Force in this
I honestly think you're overthinking it, Chris.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just showing that there are two.
I get your theories for sure.
Yeah. No. What I'm just saying is I'm just showing you the two life rafts. This is what we're going off of the life raft. So on the second life raft, you have one of them that's full of the heroes, and then the other one that's full of the villains. And in the villains, it has who's in that one with Thanos? Yeah, it's these guys. So that's Maximus the Mad, Terrax. He's one of the Galactus's heralds. And then, of course, you have the characters from the Black Cabal. And then Namor and the other person that's with him that's kind of like a stowaway is Miles Morales. That's how you get Miles Morales in the story. So they end up getting a ship like... yeah, well, no, I mean, this is where the theory of the second ship comes from. That's all that it is. So I'm just letting you know as reference. Look, here's that. Huh?
Can we go on to the next topic?
I really don't think they're going to go with the two-ship theory, though.
Right.
I really don't. I think it's too confusing. Like, even right now, we all see this picture, right? This is the one from the trailer, right?
No.
That's the one from the Fantastic Four trailer. So we already witnessed this this ship with that group of people. It would be kind of confusing to be like, yo, give the same ship, same make, same model to Doctor Doom and his villains and let them come in the same way. I think it's too much. I think it's like a cop-out. What do you think?
I'm not sure.
Because it's kind of weird, though, right?
Right.
Like, if you use this ship, being that it's in the Fantastic Four, we know I think they even show it like sideways, like standing in the dock, like ready to take off. So, like, we know,
right? Yeah,
we know that this spacecraft is going to be used specifically for the Fantastic Four, right? But the theory is the one that's coming in, which is the same ship model and style and painting and everything, that's coming in at the end of the Thunderbolts is Doctor Doom and his guys. I don't know. I don't feel like I don't think that needs to be done in that way. I think that's kind of bad writing.
Yes.
Because it's just confusing. It's confusing. Vince in the comment. Hey, what's up, Vince? Good to see you, bro. Says Julian McMahon as the main Doctor Doom for the MCU. Jesus Christ. That's funny. And then says, what if in the evil raft, it's Thanos, Ezra Miller. It's always Ezra Miller. Venom, P. Diddy, Doctor Doom, and Red Skull. Damn. They're all going to they come out all oiled up already. That'd be
Olive
super
white
fun.
dresses.
Yeah, all of them wearing dresses. Yeah, and they're all oiled
Like
up.
dresses.
Like, okay, so I do think in some kind of way we're gonna get the return of Thanos. I heard that
Yeah.
a while back, and then in pictures at Universal, not Universal, it's at Disneyland a while back, they had this big old poster, dude, and they had King Thanos, which I don't know if you're familiar with this theory of King Thanos. King Thanos is like the ultimate version of Thanos in the MCU, not in the MCU, but in the multiverse, like across the board.
Yeah.
And there was a he's never been in film before, right? But
Yeah.
watch, I'll show you a picture, right? King Thanos. King Thanos. This is him. He's never been in live action.
But he's
Like,
like old.
but you have him here drawn and in poster boards and all this stuff, like at a kids ride in Disneyland, when he's only
Yeah.
been only a cartoon comic book character. But I think here at Avengers Campus, this poster came out, and I told the boys, I was like, "Yo, we're gonna get fucking King Thanos eventually in the movies, like in some stupid way. I don't know how." Because from here you could see the Peter Parker cartoon. There was somewhere up here too that you could see Black Panther, Shuri, Moon Knight was barely being discussed. She-Hulk in her regular costume from the story is here.
Yeah.
You have the Gladiator Hulk and the Bruce Banner Hulk. And you have Falcon here and Peggy Carter for no reason. And the thing is Peggy Carter here is not in cartoon. Oh, and you have Kamala Khan's fist. And this poster did not come out. This poster was before Kamala Khan's story, like before the show came out. So we didn't even know how she was going to have her powers, like if it was going to be stretchy or like that kind of like vibe. So that King Thanos came out, and I was like, yo, this guy's coming out. So I think 100% this dude has to come out in Secret Wars in some way. Has to. Because in the
I don't
comics,
doubt it.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's too, that's a lot of work for something that's not going to be done in some way. Like that's a lot of artwork for someone who's not even like a real character in the MCU. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true.
So that's super interesting. I thought that was really, really interesting. And you have Jane Foster, and Jane Foster wasn't even a thing there. She wasn't even Thor: Love and Thunder hadn't even come out yet, because this was right after Infinity War or Endgame, right after Endgame.
Maybe it's just for the ride, Chris.
No. That's what it was. It was for the Avengers campus, because this is like a big, like, you know, you get to like see all the shit when you're going through the ride. But what I'm saying is, the assets that they're putting in this poster are all things that are barely coming out now. Like when this poster dropped at the event or at this ride, a lot of this stuff was barely concept. They weren't even talking, like I'm saying, they weren't even talking about like the hammer. You look at Jane Foster's hammer, how it's broken. That wasn't even in toy distribution yet when this poster came out. So these were all Easter eggs from whatever was coming, that was going to be coming. And they released it super early, dude. Super early. And everyone was like, why in the fuck would you put this out like that? Like, what are they trying to say? And it's just that these were all going to be things that they were going to come to eventually. I'm guessing in the Secret War stuff.
I think that was originally the plan for King Dynasty.
What do you mean?
Maybe that was the original plan.
Maybe. Yeah. Because you know what's even weirder is I barely realized that fucking Man-Thing is there. Look, he's right here. From Werewolf by Night.
Wow.
That's fucking crazy. That's crazy, dude, because that was a big surprise. But like I said, like it's just, I 100% think we're going to get a Thanos out of this. I'm really, really excited about what's to come for the Secret Wars storyline. I think it's going to be great. I just don't know how they're going to put it together or if they have times. Apparently, the rumor was the ending post-credit scene that was shot by the Russo brothers. It wasn't shot by the director of the Thunderbolts. And apparently that was actually a scene directly from the movie, from Doomsday. Do you get that or
Setting
no?
up.
Yeah,
Eh,
that's kind of weird, right?
that is weird.
So it's not like they didn't film the post-credit scene as an additive to put in Thunderbolts. It's actually a scene from Secret Wars.
Or Doomsday.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Doomsday. Correct. My bad. Yeah, it's a scene from the Doomsday film set because that scene wasn't filmed by the director of Thunderbolts. It was filmed by the Russo brothers.
That's interesting.
That's wild, right?
Yes.
So even with that, that might not even technically be a post credit scene. It may be the first parts that we're actually seeing a part of the Doomsday storyline.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's nuts. That's nuts. Well, shit. Crazy stuff, my guys. We have maybe in the Avengers Doomsday, we get the spot where Doom versus Thanos, but it's RGJ's Doom killing Thanos. Yeah, I 100% agree. This is what me and Brian were talking about, and Triggs and I have talked about this before too. There are certain scenes that are in the comic books that people are going to expect to see in the movies.
Like the one from Dark Knight Returns.
Which one?
The Dark Knight Returns one. Like there's a scene from Dark Knight Returns where they announced it a couple years ago back when.
Oh, you know what? Actually,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. But do you know what's a really like you know what I mean? Like the splash pages in comic books, right? So if we go back to, I'm going to shoot this because this is for you, actually. You go to Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
And you type in the comic book, this scene, right?
Yeah.
This picture is so synonymous to this film that it is so madly important to the comic book scene. Right?
Yeah, so Batman vs. Superman.
And exactly, dude. Exactly. Batman vs. Superman. Boom.
Right there.
Beautiful reference. Beautiful. I'm glad you picked that up. But there it is. And the thing is did the movie have to do that?
No, but it was honoring.
But they did it because they know the fans would love to see that shit. They know.
And that's what you're going for Secret Wars and Doomsday, right?
And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like the scene that they're talking about was Thanos versus Doctor Doom. He tears his spine out of his chest. Because
Dang.
Yeah, it's nuts. And look who's in the fucking background. I just realized this. Look who's in the background.
Dang.
I totally didn't remember Annihilus was there. Holy fuck, dude.
It might be him.
Yeah, he might be the Crisis in space. Holy shit. I didn't even realize that. God damn. See, this is why I go into my crazy rabbit holes. I know I sound nuts sometimes, Derpy, but so this is what we were talking about earlier where
you know your stuff, so I mean.
But what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to like line it up, right?
Right.
Like I always tell people, if you get an opportunity, read the comic books because the comic books are a million times better as to what the films are coming out with right now. But there are certain shots like this one of Doctor Doom. I think this is important. I always tell people the Sentry and the reason why they put the Sentry is because of I always bring up Hyperion because he's my favorite. You would like Hyperion. Hyperion and Thor is because of this scene, like these kind of things. They have like a bromance where they end up becoming this is the Superman and Thor of their universe. So he's like Hyperion is technically the Injustice version of Superman in comic book form in Marvel. Dang. He's like the Sentry. He's super powerful, but he's only a Superman based guy. Laser vision, super strong. Doesn't really have a lot of like weaknesses. I guess it would be like a kryptonite or something, but like he's the closest version of Superman the Marvel's got. And Thor teaches him how to be a better hero because he's like Injustice Superman. He like arrests people and takes them to jail for justice, but if they kind of overact that, he'll be like, oh well, I guess I got to kill you because you're not really, it doesn't really work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but in the ending of the comic book, they have this part where it's them two versus the Beyonders, and Hyperion gets his eyeballs gouged out because he can shoot laser vision, and that's like his weapon, and then Thor gets his arm ripped off. Look. So he's like, I know it's a small shot here, but I'll try to make it bigger. So you could see, look, his eyes are gouged out, right? They're kind of torn up. And this guy's got his arm ripped off and he's only got his metal arm. And he can't pick up the hammer because in that universe, you have to be unworthy. And then at the end, both of them fly at the Beyonders and here it is. So they both like commit suicide after going after all the Beyonders or whatever. And it's like the last thing in the universe. And I think they're going to switch Hyperion out for the Sentry. So in some way, we're going to get this comic book ending to this character. So again, here's him beating the shit out of Thor before they become real cool with each other. But yeah, it's this stuff right here. It's a super awesome ending to these two characters. And they're the last two living characters in the Marvel Universe at that time. Like, so we may end up getting that, and then it goes into Secret Wars after that. That's how Doctor Doom and all those guys bring it all together. It's really crazy. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on, man. A lot of things. Another beautiful scene in Secret Wars. This will probably be my last one, which I really, really hope
And then
we
we
get
can move
this.
on to the next topic.
Yeah, because we got to go talk DC stuff. Secret Wars. Black Panther. Yes, dude. Oh my fucking god. We need these two scenes. We need these two scenes. So the first scene here is where Doctor Strange in the multiverse or whatever dies. He gets ripped apart by Doctor Doom. And he ends up transporting Black Panther and Namor, who fucking hate each other, mind you, to his secret sanctorum. And in his like will and testament, he leaves Black Panther the Infinity Gauntlet that works in that universe. Like he leaves Black Panther the Infinity Gauntlet to fight against Doctor Doom. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy as shit. And what Black Panther does is he ends up remembering that he's what they call the King of the Dead. And he opens up a portal. Oh, dude, this is the fucking wildest, dude. And he ends up bringing in all the Marvel zombies into like the fold of the big ass, like the big thing that's going on at the end. This picture alone is gorgeous, dude. Like it's beautiful because he like fucking, you see it like how it's just cinematic where he pulls it out and you see that it's the full Infinity Gauntlet given to T'Challa. Like in some way, I hope they do this because they, with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, the way Marvel has handled the Black Panther story has been a little bit off. So I feel like it needs its respect. You know what I mean? It needs its respect before it all comes to an end. It really does. So hopefully, man, there's a bunch. There's so many amazing splash pages in the comic books that are so worth it for Secret Wars if they could pull it off. I mean, yeah, like I probably am. I mean, more than likely I am. But there's oh yeah, God, Emperor Doom, him sitting on his throne. Yeah, this picture, that's probably like one of the most famous pictures from the comics. This one, where he has like the tree, the Yggdrasil tree and all that stuff. There's a bunch of things. The Thor core and all this amazing stuff. But yeah, man, can't wait. Cannot wait to see where they go. Really, really excited. But Derpy, it's enough crazy talk from me. I want to get going into another conversation. Let's bring it, baby. We got a Thunderman. We got a Superman trailer. Hopefully coming this coming week, or when is it supposed to drop? Like by the 31st or something, like the 20 something.
I heard it's coming this week.
Yeah, I
Maybe
actually heard
Thursday.
that the other day, and I thought I thought it was some random shit
Thursday,
that I heard from
maybe.
like the Den of Nerds or something like that. But we're supposed to be getting a trailer, right?
Yeah, it's either this Thursday or it could be tomorrow. Any time this week.
Okay, we gotta raise some questions. My question is, James Gunn, the guy that you say he's gonna bring it,
Yeah.
said that all the stuff that's been in the trailer so far is not even the movie. Not even the movie.
I
Then
did not
last
see this
week,
comment.
what's up?
I did not see that comment
Oh, he said,
from him.
what did he say? It's like, let me see. I'll bring it up right now. Let me see if I can find it. But let me bring this into perspective, right? So there was a thing that he said that everything that's been shown in the movie, they're in the trailer so far, it does not even touch base on what the movie's actually about. And two, we did talk about the rumors that popped off the other day about what the movie was supposed to be about, the social counseling, the all
Yeah.
that stuff, right? We talked about that in the self-insertion of James Gunn's situation, trying to see about one-upping the people that hated on him or whatever. And we also got the Peacemaker trailer. Robert Biggie in the comment section just dropped it. He's in the Peacemaker,
Yep.
you know that. So yeah, discuss, man. Let me know what you think. What do you think about all this stuff?
Well, first off, Superman trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure what they're gonna show because I really don't want this movie spoiled for me.
Okay.
I want to go in. I mean, the first trailer did it for me. I'm sold. But like, we got a glimpse in the Peacemaker trailer. The explanation of the new universe. So if they show anything for the new universe in the Superman trailer, that
Mm-hmm.
would be a big dub.
Okay.
Just explaining it's a new universe and everything. But this trailer's got to work
It does.
because you and Brian are still not sold on it.
True. True.
I'm sold on it. Um, I just don't go get why there's haters out there.
I mean, do you blame them though? Like for what it is? Again, you and I have talked about this. The James
Yeah,
Gunn persona, right?
yeah,
He made a show a long time ago called Slither. I think Slither, which he still references in some of his movies. The horror movie, it was back in the day.
yeah.
Um, Comes in, knocks it out of the park with what is it?
Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Is Gets into trouble mid, Guardians 2 between Guardians 3, gets fired, returns back after he works with DC with the Suicide Squad.
I bet you're wrong, Vince.
What do you mean?
I was reading Vince's comment.
Oh, what is it? I'm not hyped for Superman at all. I bet $100 James Gunn is gonna ruin DC and Superman.
I bet you're
Vince. I mean,
wrong.
Vince kind of feels okay. So but I do understand where Vince is coming from because he feels that this person did bad things and had bad intentions and was given priority or privilege over some people that would have just been let go
Or a second chance.
or a second chance, right? But either way, there was some really weird situation in what he was involved in, and a lot of people don't want to hold him accountable.
That's
Which,
fair.
again, it's hard to hold someone accountable based on just social media. But how do you hold this person accountable? Like, imagine him writing that, but working on Sesame Street. And then you let him
Dang.
back on Sesame Street.
Dang.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of uncomfortable, right?
Right.
So I understand where people like Vince were kind of like his reputation was ruined, and it's hard to win that back. And a really good example was Taika Waititi when his reputation got ruined. and he attacked the audience instead of just saying, you know what, I'm sorry, I'll do better. I think James Gunn kind of like, since it wasn't really discussed or really brought out into public for him to make a public apology, he made it just tweeted a sorry, but he never really made it an official, like, hey guys, you know what, like, I know that this looked wrong and I apologize for it. I was naive or whatever. I hope that you can find some way to forgive me and let me work work what I do best. I would never, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like a real solid apology. I think people would have accepted it a little bit more. Cause even me, I was sour for a bit. I'm not as sour, but I'm not as
That's fair,
supportive,
John.
if that makes sense. I'm not as supportive of his work.
That's fair, Chris.
Yeah, it's kind of like yeah, and I'm not trying to be rude about it. I'm just saying, like, uh, John in the comment section, there's a lot of fans that are hesitant to see what James Gunn's Superman after the second Suicide Squad movie and him being fired and then rehired. Many feel that James Gunn throwing away actors and storyline that had set the standard. His vision will be a letdown. Okay, so you see, like John's kind of like not in the same factor as us, but he understands it. He's putting all the variables into perspective so we can break it down and get a better understanding. Um,
I just think everyone's a hater on arrival, and that's why it will fail if it fail.
it's understandable. You're a big fan, so you're wanting for it to be successful, and it's good to stand on business and fight for what you believe in, right? And I respect that. Did you? And I want you to be honest as you can be, not biased because you're into the Suicide Squad or DC or whatever. Do you think the second Suicide Squad movie was good or great? Like in a concept, you can even give me a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 of what you thought of it. I know it's been a minute. I don't remember the movie quite well either.
I
So,
remember it.
okay. What did you rate that film in your opinion?
I thought it was great.
Okay. So you probably think it was like a
I thought it was everything that a Suicide Squad movie would be.
okay. I mean, that's all right. That's not bad. Were you being a DC fan? I don't know how far that goes. I know we talked animated series and films and
Yeah,
stuff like that. I'm not sure about like into the comic book history, but did you like the way that they handled Starro? And being that Starro was the first villain of the Justice League, and he
yeah.
almost took all
That's.
of them
I
out.
would say that was probably the only problem with the film.
Yeah, because like
But
that was my thing too.
overall, I had fun with it.
Yeah, I don't disregard the comedy that was written, the fun in the film. I think at the time I thought it was a very good like summer film, like a popcorn liking movie, because it really didn't kind of to me it didn't carry any real weight. It was kind of like to me like the way the Thunderbolts was, right? Because that's what everybody compares it
Right.
to. Like it's a good movie, it's a bunch of slapstick, but like the overarching nature is like you don't really see this this band of thieves or this group of delinquents coming together and really doing something for the earth or like maybe a city, maybe a town, but not like intergalactic shit like the Avengers was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for them to say, "Oh, well here like I mean even in the film when you go, oh, well here are the Thunderbolts, let's them put them up against the Century." I think we all had the same concept when they released the trailer for the Suicide Squad game, and there's a part where they got to fight Superman,
Right.
right? I think we all were like, "What the fuck? What are they gonna do? It's Superman." You know what I mean? I mean, even in the trailer, I think
Well,
Harley Quinn
not
makes a
even
comment, right?
that's not even canon to the new universe, and that game
Which one?
sucked anyways.
Which one?
The Suicide Squad game you're talking about.
Oh, the Suicide Squad game?
Yeah, with the super evil Superman.
No, yeah, I know it's not canon. There's no real story about that or anything like that. But like it's in the game. But like even in the game, like the meta conversation was like even the characters. I don't know if it was like I can't remember if it was like King Shark or like Captain Boomerang.
It
That
was
was like
Captain
it's
Boomerang, King
fucking
Shark.
Superman. I think he said
Right.
something like it's fucking Superman. What do we do? Like we're just dudes. I
Yeah.
throw a boomerang for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
So like even in that concept, like you could see where like there's the Hawkeye mentality, right? So like there was just something about it where they introduced Starro and Harley Quinn. You know, people are just kicking the shit out of these characters. The dude, the polka dot guy, like there was just a lot of like weird, and that's what James Gunn does very well with is like the randomness of the character sometimes, right?
Yeah.
The randomness. So I don't know, man. I'm still a little bit iffy. I think Brian's in the same factor as me. I mean, even yourself, you have to take into consideration that there's a little nervousness because it's Superman.
I don't
Like,
think he'll mess it up.
no,
No, I have a lot of faith in James Gunn
okay. Vince in the
because
comments section says,
because
if James Gunn can prove me wrong about Superman movie after a good cast of Superman, Henry slash Cavill, we'll see. Okay, so he really likes the Henry Cavill Superman, which
yeah,
I was
which makes
eh,
sense.
I was okay about. I just didn't like how emo he was.
This Superman is not gonna be emo though.
Yeah, I wanted him to, that was the only thing that kind of sucked is that I felt like the Henry Cavill Superman didn't really come with a lot of like the hope part.
It did in
He
Black Adam for 2 seconds.
huh?
I said it did in Black Adam for 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, came out in Black Adam for like 2 seconds at the end. It's not even him; it's just his suit, right? They didn't show his face.
No, they showed his face.
Did it? Fuck, I can't remember, man.
We need to talk.
Um. Oh yeah,
Fix the
Amanda Waller
internet.
has him under control or some shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What the
That
fuck,
was
dude?
when they were
I'm so
setting up
disappointed with that.
the Michael Keaton thing.
Yeah. John says, plus the new actor playing Superman, he's expected to meet the same standard as Henry Cavill, Brandon Ruth, and of course Christopher Reeves.
I don't even
Yeah.
think Cavill's in
I
that
mean, not
standard.
to even mention like, the guys from the TV series who, represented the
Kane.
character very, very well. So, he's got some shoes to fill, man. He's got some shoes to
I
fill.
don't think Henry Cavill's in that standard.
You don't think he's up at that nature of those characters?
No, just because of how he was written.
What makes you think he's not?
Because of how he was written. He was
Oh,
like you said, he was very depressing and not even
yeah, he was
out of
he was
character.
very mopey, right?
Yeah, he was out of character.
Yeah.
They
But of
got the
course,
perfect actor, but he was written terribly.
yeah, but I think for what he did as the character, for what it's worth, when they did write him without that mopiness, which was very little, dude.
Right.
Um, he did he does play the part very well. He's the big bulky character, very good looking man. The makes you feel like because even there's the scenes like in the Superman movie. I think it was the Batman versus Superman movie where he's doing his international stuff and he's going to all these places and he's saving people and there's people like the lady on the roof reaching up to him, all the Mexican people touching him while he's like looking back in the sky or whatever. Do you remember all that shit? Do
Yes.
you do you remember those or no?
Yeah, I do.
Like if you look at him, he's very much like, thanks guys. I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
Bye. Like he's not really like uh uh uh, uh showing his confidence to make people like feel okay. He only gives that to Lois Lane.
Give me like 2 seconds, Chris. I
Yeah,
gotta
go
move
for it.
downstairs.
Yeah. In yeah, go for it. In my opinion, he only gives that vibe of security, hope, and safety to Lois Lane. And that's kind of like, of course, written across the stars kind of thing, the star-crossed lovers, Lois and Clark being these couple that's always in that way. David, I have not seen Peacemaker season two's trailer yet, so I don't know how it ties in. You can put in the comment section, that'd be pretty fun. But again, there are scenes in this trailer for the new Superman. John, I don't know if you're still watching, but there's scenes in it that kind of like confuse me, right? One of the one of the biggest things in the trailer that confused me over all the other stuff is there's a scene where it looks like he's sitting in his house or his apartment. He's talking to Lois Lane. And in the background, there's some type of thing. I don't know what it is. And it's hard to explain because some people have said it's the ship from the Authority, which is DC Authority. Ship. Uh, ship. Um, meet the authority. Is it the carrier? I don't know if that's what it's called. There's some ship that's in the authority that they use that can kind of like get around. It's not
Um,
that. Hey, are you
yeah,
familiar with the Authority comic books?
no, but I think I know what you're talking about. The ship
Right? There's something
in the
about it,
trailer,
right?
right?
Yeah, and it's kind of like,
It's it's Mr. Terrific ship.
is that what it is?
Yeah, in the behind the scenes thing. If you're talking about that,
No,
that's
what
Mr.
I'm
Terrific
yeah,
ship.
okay, so what I'm talking about is in the trailer for Superman, the teaser trailer,
Yeah.
he's sitting in the couch and he's talking to
Oh, you're
Lois,
talking about
the live action
Henry
trailer.
Cavill.
Yeah. I'm talking about the trailer, the new one. And there's like
Oh, the new one.
this awkward ship in the back. And oh yeah, you see, like even in the comment section, Vince was like, "I think it could be Brainiacs or Lex Luthor with powers."
Oh, he's
And,
talking about the. You're talking about the circle ball.
yes,
That I don't know, but I'm thinking it's what's his name from All Star Superman.
All Star Superman, Brainiac,
Solaris.
Solaris. Let's see who this is. Solaris. So you think he's a big like sun villain?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. That seems a little too crazy. I do see it. I mean, that's wild. Let me go to
because it's
DC
based off Super. It's based off of Superman All Star, and
Superman,
he's the villain in Superman All Star.
Superman, Lois. Um, what's it? I'm telling you,
Or
man,
it
it's
could
so
be
weird.
Metamorpho.
Huh?
Or it could be Metamorpho.
No, I don't think it's Metamorpho. I don't think he loses that. I don't think he loses power in that way. This one, right? Oh, up. I'm talking about
Or it
this
could be
scene.
Parasite.
Parasite would be Green Lantern,
No,
or no?
You don't know what Parasite is, do you?
Yeah, I'm talking
That
about this
thing.
scene, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's um. It could be the ship from Authority.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
There is
but I
like
think
a
it's
character
hilarious.
authority. There's a character in the authority that's like a techno person, and they have
Yes,
a ship. They have a ship, and it's got like tentacles and shit.
that's Brainiac.
You think, and that's the other thing too, man. A lot because of the coloring, a lot of people think it's Brainiac.
I don't think it's Brainiac.
You don't think so?
No,
Is it this
I
person?
mean it would be cool if it was Brainiac, but that'd be too much.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck.
Because
Hold on,
he's
real
more
quick.
of a Justice League villain.
Wait. Yeah, I think it might be the ship from the Authority because if I'm not mistaken, there is a character in the in the trailer of Superman that's coming out of like the Lex Luthor tower. That's apparently this character named the Engineer, who's the person
Yeah,
that's working with Lex Luthor. So if that's the purpose, that might be the ship that she uses. Yeah. So, but sorry about that. Uh, on hold on real quick. But okay, so that might be the authority ship, the Brainiac or something. But it's the way that he's acting in this part of the trailer that really got me in a bad way. He's like moping himself. He's not trying to go out there and save lives. Whatever is this thing in the background is like shooting like a beam of light like two buildings itself, and he's not really trying to save the day. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's kind of like that's where I'm kind of like iffy about this. But again, James Gunn, like I said, had made a comment where like we haven't seen really anything yet in the trailers. You know, it could be like what's it called? Like what magicians do where they sleight of hand. You know, they're showing you one thing and something else is going on. Or that thing in the background might not even actually be there. So yeah. Very, very, very interesting stuff. But we're supposed to be getting a trailer coming out soon. It's supposed to give us more of
It's
an
not a bad
example of like,
theory,
huh,
Vince.
huh? What
Vince
was that?
said Bizarro maybe
You think it might be bizarre? How could it be bizarre though?
because there was a leak or something. That basically, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, you have some insight, don't you?
Yeah, it was like months ago. Basically, do you want me to should I
Mm.
say it?
I mean, you could. I mean, it's just theory as of now. It's just theory.
Right. Um. Basically, from what I've heard, this was like months ago. Is that you know that villain, that Ultraman villain thing that everyone's trying to theorize
Hmm.
who that is? Basically, it's a Bizarro like type villain,
Yes, yeah, that's the
and
theory. The theory
basically
is that because there's two
he's
concepts. One, the name that they use is Ultraman in the Toy
yeah
Biz, which is the character from the other multiverse, which is
yeah
apparently the concept of what Lex Luthor's playing with in some way is like some kind of multiversal thing, which is why Mr. Terrific is somehow involved in all of this. The other
hmm
thing is it's Bizarro, right? Which is it makes more
right
sense for it to be Bizarro more than Ultraman,
right,
right? So,
and
John and
it's supposed
well,
to be a
Vince,
David
go ahead,
Cornsweat
go
as
ahead.
well. He's supposed to be David Cornsweat as well under
Like
there.
it's gonna be like him both opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Vince in the comics agrees a 10. He said Bizarro maybe ish. John says, I didn't see that scene in the trailer. FPR, the new Superman.
What's
Uh,
FPR?
and then I don't know what FPR is. Oh, the trailer for the new Superman. I didn't see that scene. Yeah, the trailer's in there. It's in the scene also. So in the trailer, that picture with that weird thing in the back's also in the trailer. And Vince Weaver says, what if it's Nightmare Superman to destroy the new Superman? LOL. Zack Snyder versus James Gunn. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but you have to take into consideration that sooner or later, the overarching goal is going to be
Sooner or later,
what
you need to move
Marvel has,
on.
right? And sooner or later, we'll probably end up getting some type of a crisis story.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because it's so crazy that Supergirl, which is what we're going to talk about next, is getting so much attention, even though she's not like a really important character in the overarching like regular Superman and Batman and DC world. But now they're putting her in front of like a Batman story or her in front of a Wonder Woman story. Like she's getting it front and center with Superman, which means to me that's
Bold.
Superman, Supergirl,
I don't know if you've
Crisis.
seen the logo yet or
That's
the
this.
footage. Yeah, that's spoilers, but
This
like
is
that's like
like
the most iconic.
iconic picture.
That's
So
like
in
more even more iconic than Secret Wars.
yeah, well yeah, true. I mean cuz this is their version of Infinity in the comic books.
Because
So
every time you do that, and they just reboot the universe,
mhm.
which is
And
they
it's
do.
so crazy because of course, we try not to talk about it too much, but because it's all the debauchery and all the drama. In the Flash film, we saw them reference like literally every universe with every Superman, right?
Right.
So with that, you could tell that the concept is sooner or later we're going to build up to the Crisis storyline, even with the Flash
That
doing
or
all his
Kingdom
crazy.
Come.
Or which one?
That or Kingdom Come.
Which one's that one?
That's the Mark Wade one.
What's it called?
Kingdom Come.
Oh, Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come.
I don't know,
That's what
man.
I've heard is that they might like he might
I
build up to that.
I think it's an interesting story. I don't
Also,
think
I mean like
I
the
think Kingdom
concept,
Come
not
is a
like necessarily the entire
yeah, but
concept of it.
I think Kingdom Come is a better story as an ending for the Justice Society more than the Justice League. I think that plays off more in that sense. If we do, maybe we get Kingdom Come as like the first part of like the overarching story of the DC universe.
Yeah.
Um and then we get a crisis, right?
Yes.
Uh I don't think we go this much into it unless I'll just put this out there right now. We do have a Justice Society reference in Black Adam, but that universe has already been kind of kaputted because that's part of the other shit, the Snyderverse, if I'm
Yeah,
not
that was
mistaken, right?
the DCEU.
Yeah, so that one's on that side of the universe, which that could be its own crisis later on, reference or whatever. I think Kingdom Come would be interesting if at the ending of Superman, the Guy Gardner and all the other characters come in and say, "Hey, you know what? Like let's start the Justice Society." Like there's
Or the
Mr.
Justice
Terrific,
Gang.
there's Hawkman, the Green Lantern, but it's not this guy, it's Guy Gardner, this Moon guy, I don't know who, the Guardian, I think. This is that girl, I forgot, Star Child or whatever. And then of course you got Grant Gustin. Or not Grant Gustin, you got Jay Garrett. But I mean, at the end of the Superman movie, when all the characters come together and they're like, "Yo, let's make the Justice Society." Um,
I
I
can
think we got a
confirm.
better opportunity for that to happen with Kingdom Come than the other movies, the Crisis.
Right.
So that
I can confirm something though.
let's say the Justice Society
They were
movie,
for like the Superman movie.
yeah, would technically be like the Avengers film. So
Right.
you know how it's all the independent characters and then an
Right.
Avengers film. Independent movies, Avengers film. So remember, like the Avengers, the first movie, that was the Avengers. The next one was Avengers Infinity War and then Avengers Endgame. Those are the Avengers stories. So the first one would be, instead of it being called the Avengers, it would be called the Justice Society. And then the next one will be the Justice League. And then some way they add more to it or they add more characters or whatnot. You're going to have some come and go, some die off, some come back and whatnot because the Justice Society has a lot of the older characters.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like that might be a possibility, dude. And then the Bizarro concept would be very good because you could even have like a Justice Society versus the what's the other one? The League of Villains or the Legion of Doom, right?
Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom. So that's like the pickup of all the villains versus the pickup of all the heroes from all the movies. And it's the Justice Society versus the Legion of Doom, which gives a lot of nostalgia and a lot of like tip of the hat to the old school cartoons of the Justice Friends
Super
and the
Friends.
Legion of Doom cartoons way back in the day. And you have Gorilla Grodd, you have Bizarro, you have the Lex Luthor, you have a bunch of villains, dude.
How about this? 2017. They were actually leading up to that.
Right? You see, I
That's what.
remember that
That's
happening.
what. What's his name? Josh
Whedon?
Whedon. He wanted to
Yeah,
set up
Joss Whedon.
the Legion of Doom versus
The Justice
Justice
League,
League.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting story, and I mean, what's beautiful about it is that sells toys, dude. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. This
Let me
style
jump in.
of what DC does with its characters sells toys. Like if Superman's in his regular costume, if Batman's in his costume, if Wonder Woman is his in costume, as the Flash is in his costume, all of those sell fucking toys.
Right.
It's weirder because Marvel is always like, well, how do you take this real zany looking character and make him look cool? You know, how do you take this dude in a leotard and make him look like a guy nowadays? And you see the stitching, it's all tactical. Hawkeye doesn't have his weird Wolverine things and the H on his forehead. They would rather do something else to make it look sexy rather than comic booky. And I think what's beautiful is James Gunn has shown is that he's like, well, I don't mind. I'll make it look comic booky. I think that's dope. Look at Guy Garner and his fucking stupid haircut. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he doesn't mind, and that's dope. I feel like that's gonna make money for the industry a little bit easier because they're gonna be able to sell and market the characters as well. So I don't know, man. I think DC has a lot of potential if they do it right. A lot of potential if they do it right. You know, speaking of they do it right, we've talked about Superman, but what about
Supergirl.
Supergirl?
Did you see the logo yet?
No, I haven't. Let's see.
It's a new logo.
I'm
It's
gonna
actually
look at the
pretty sick.
movie.
Hold on, I got you.
Let's see. Which one is it? Which one is it?
I got you. It's on Instagram.
Oh, but I'm gonna have to open my Instagram. I need to find it here. It's gonna be a lot better if I find it here. Did it just drop recently or what?
No, I got you.
I'm gonna have to close this up then. I do like the actress. I think she's very, yeah, very comic booky to the Supergirl character. But
That's
I
the
do
logo.
like the girl that was in the Superman movie, the original one, the Flash one or whatever. I thought she was a
Yeah,
G also, man. She did such an amazing job. I thought she was the fucking star of that film, to tell you the truth.
I sent it.
Yeah, let me check it out. Oh, okay.
That is the logo.
That's pretty cool. It's like the newer style.
Yeah,
That's pretty dope. Let me I'll get a share real quick for
that was shared today or yesterday.
there it is right there. That looks pretty good. Hair, makeup, and prosthetics. It's a really nice S, man. It's a really nice S. Cool stuff, man. I like that. I dig that. I dig it. Derpy, you're gonna have to tell me. Sell me this movie, man.
Well, I can't sell it to you. You got to read the comic.
What do you mean?
You got to read the comic.
What about it? I know the comics. I know the comics. I understand it. I know. I
Did you
know.
read Woman of Tomorrow?
Um, if that's the one where she goes to Themyscira and gets trained and all that stuff,
I think.
is that the one?
No, this is the one where she's like on a planet
Hmm.
and she watches her home world like on a planet like
What
explode.
What do you think this Supergirl film is going to be about? What do you think it's going to follow? Like, what's the story of Kyra? How do you say her name?
I think it's Kyra Akira.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think?
Um, I would
Carl.
say it's gonna be like more. It's probably gonna be like Barbie, if you know what I mean.
Barbie.
Very
What do you mean?
feminine. Very feminine.
Hmm.
Very female empowering.
I'll read. This goes into a little bit of
You
IMDb.
read the
Like the synopsis from IMDb says, according to James Gunn, on this movie, we see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock chip off of Krypton and watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life. James Gunn indicates that this incarnation is an Argo City survivor rather than being from Krypton itself, more akin to her comic book debut in 1959. What do you think?
I would agree that it's more like a survivor one.
Do you think it's
Like
going to kind of follow more of like the absolute Superman storyline a little bit?
no, this is like an original story.
Okay.
I would say I know. Should I say? I mean, obviously, Momoa's in it. Um, did you know that
Who's in it?
Momoa?
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, right. Jason Momoa is rumored to be playing Lobo,
No, he's not rumored.
or he is. He is.
Confirmed. Um, he might be taking the place of what's his name? The big bad guy, not the bad of the film, but like the
Dark Side.
mid-level boss. No, not Darkseid. There's no Darkseid in it. But like, if you're gonna watch this film, I would recommend to watch. I would recommend to read Woman of Tomorrow just to get a brief idea
Oh,
what you're going
would it
into.
be Zarel? No. Because there's
No,
a lot of people that are going to be like on top cast right now. They only have 7 people in cast,
right.
and it's Kara, Ruth.
Kara, that's her name.
Yeah, Kara Zarel,
Roof. Roof is like a
the Earth chick, right?
yeah. She
The
basically got
best friend. I'm
Kara
probably
five.
like a.
Yeah,
There's
but
Krem of the Yellow Hills.
Krim is the villain.
Okay, and that's let me look him up because I don't know who he is up top of my head. Krem. Oh. The Yellow Hills. Okay.
Like
Okay.
Supergirl will be like this version of Supergirl
Hmm.
is like she's like what they were trying to do with Aquaman for Zack Snyder. She's like
Okay.
she's rough,
Like
if you know what I mean.
she's been brought up tough, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm trying to see
she's like
what
a
this history is. At some
you
point
know
before
that
the
you
events
know
of the
that
story,
scene where
Krem kills the father of Ruth and telling them the farmer a joke mocking the king intended to lure those unloyal to the throne. Ruth family did not laugh at the joke and instead was offended by it and told Krem to leave this home. After these events, Krem stabbed Ruth's father for not laughing at his joke. So yeah,
yeah,
I guess it's like during like an older time in history. I'm guess.
it's far off in space.
Okay. But it has like a tribal beginning, right? Like
Yeah,
yeah, like a very Game of Thrones ish.
yeah,
Yeah, very kings versus queens and all the shit. And Supergirl shows up and becomes the savior of the planet. I'm guessing.
pretty much.
Okay,
But
just
like
breaking it down. Yeah, just breaking it down.
visually, it's gonna be like ridiculous. Hopefully, because the
Okay.
comic is the issues are ridiculously heavily visually like top notch,
Well, yeah, they're gonna have to pull it off, right? And because for them to
and
sell
that's
this
what
film,
they wrapped it up in 4 months. But it said that they're gonna give them a year to do
the editing.
like the visual effects and editing and all that.
Yeah, I hope they pull it off, man. I mean, this kind of gives me vibes like in the newer comic books right now, you have Jean Grey's character with the Phoenix Force that was going around to different
Right.
universes and kind of like saving different cultures and different alien species. And I kind of feel like this is in the same vibe.
When did that comic come out from
The Phoenix
Marvel?
one came out just a couple years ago. It was during the Krakoa after she gets her powers back and all that shit. You know, it's fairly recent, but it's kind of
This
like in
one
the
came
same.
out in 2021.
Yeah. But I guess this would be considered also, if you want to think about it, this was like what Jane Foster did also when she was trying to understand about being a god
Right.
in the comic books, which is based on this that comic book story in the back over here behind me. That's where Jane Foster has cancer. She becomes Thor. She starts traveling the universe. She's sitting on the council of like in Asgard, talking about all the 9 realms. She's a representation of Midgard, and they kind of like bestow upon her like this like Odin hates her fucking guts because she's taking the role of his son, who he doesn't make sense of it. But then it's like she's just a human. What does she know about being a god? And her humanisms and her concept of being human makes it more in the sense of her being a better god because she's more compassion. She's more compassionate to people in different societies and stuff. I feel like this could probably the same factor where she kind of comes in. She's the character with a heart of gold, stopping the tyrant. Even very much almost the same story as World War Hulk. It's a bunch of different stories that kind of follow the same concept. But then Lobo plays a factor, which I don't really know how, unless it's going to be the king, since it's an international, not international, intergalactic situation. The king knows that she can hire Lobo as like a bounty hunter guy and offers him money to take out the Kryptonian, right?
Right.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Do you have the DC app?
I don't have the DC app, no.
Well, if you're not gonna like buy the issues on
No,
Crisp,
but I can find the story. That's not even a thing. I can find it online. No worries.
okay.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna have to
I
read
would
it.
recommend you reading that before.
Yeah, I was like, in my mind, my brain's telling me I'm gonna have to read it if I want it to make sense.
Yeah.
So I just need
There's
to kind
only
of
eight
come through with that.
issues.
Huh?
There's 8 issues.
8 issues? Yeah, it's an arc. But that's cool, man. I mean, it just wrapped up, if I'm not mistaken. So when it's going to be a year of editing, so we're looking at the film being released what, late
June
2026 or
2026.
early
June.
2027?
June 2026.
June 2026. Guys, you heard it here first.
A
Derpy calls
month
it.
after Doomsday.
Yep. And the last thing that I want to talk about, Derpy, is fill us in on the drama that's going in with Batman 2.
Listen, don't believe everything you see on the internet, everyone,
Derpy.
because it can leave false trails.
Okay.
Matt Reeves is a great director. I love the first one. I love the Batman. I think it's the best Batman, but that's just me. Um, he's not. Here's the thing. If I'm DC, I'm moving on from his trilogy, but I'm not in charge of DC
Okay.
because it would be smarter because then you can get to Brave and the Bold faster.
Okay.
But the rumor is that he is leaving the project, and I doubt that because he's too good of a director.
Matt Reeves, right?
Warner Brothers can't. Warner Brothers can't let him go.
Okay. It's a good point. It's a good point. So but what is it then? Cooking facts. That's what freaking Derpy Vince Weaver says. Derpy is cooking facts.
What am I
So
cooking?
about Matt Reeves. So you don't think the theory is Matt Reeves walked away from the Batman film, right?
Yes.
But you don't think DC's going to let him go.
No.
And you think it's because he's too important.
Yes.
In what sense?
One of the better directors out there that they could probably afford
Okay.
is what I'm going for.
But don't you think it's kind of weird, like even during the concept of like when they were doing the Superman or the Batman films and all that stuff, and they still had the other Batman series going on, and they were trying to do like the Joker and Batman together. I still think that was like a big mistake for them to do.
Yeah, that was the Elseworlds, but which was what I was interested in seeing. Like you know how they have a Superman logo
Yeah.
and it says DC Studios after it.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to do an Elseworld logo too at
But you
some
see,
point.
like for the everyday goer, don't you think that's a bit confusing if they were to add Elseworld and people don't
Right.
even know what that really means? Like, a lot of people will just throw it into existence because, I mean, like it's kind of like even in recent times, you got a bunch of people that are just excited for the Century when no one even really knows who the Century is in the comic books.
Right.
Right. And it's weird because like for me and the boys and all that stuff, even yourself, like we know because we've talked about comic books. You've heard us bring up the Century and like I did Hyperion earlier, and we're just talking all the stuff that we've read. And you can literally go to any other person that's never really read comics and ask them. They don't know who the Century is, other than how badass it was to see him in the fucking film, even though they don't know who he was or what's the purpose of having him. So I kind of feel like it correlates in the same way in the DC universe, right? A lot of people were excited with the retelling of the story of like the Riddler, right? The way that Matt Reeves did it. Catwoman also. People don't really know about like Frost, the guy that killed Batman's parents. They don't know the Joker's name is sometimes Jack Napier, who is like an ex-military guy or whatnot. Like they don't know all the details. They just go for it because they know what's popular, right?
Right.
Matt Reeves handled the Batman fairly well.
He did.
Did he handle it better than Ben Affleck's Batman done by Zack Snyder?
I
I
would
don't.
say written wise, yes. Visually, no.
Yeah, there's something about it that I kind of preferred Ben Affleck. I like the grittiness and the violence of him. I
I
don't
just
like
didn't like how it was written.
I don't like how Brody he was. Like the "Do you bleed" and like all that shit. I thought that was stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
I thought that was just dumbly written. But same
Why did you
concept
say
is
that
I
name,
thought the
Chris?
way they wrote um
Why did you say
the
the name, Chris?
which one, Martha, or which one? Wait, which one? Which one? Did I say Martha wrong? Or, um, the way that they wrote Batman Bruce Wayne in the Batman Matt Reeves movie, I thought was dumb as shit. I thought he was the
I would say the
worst detective.
plot plot is kind of dumb, but like
Well, I just thought he was the worst detective. And if you
that's
really think
fair.
about it, he didn't even really solve anything. Alfred did. Alfred
That's
was the one
fair.
that was solving all the riddles and things.
That's fair.
And even there was a man. It was so dumb.
But
The
it's like a year two
Penguin.
story, so he's trying to figure it out on his own. But like, if you get what I'm saying, I don't know if you've ever read year one.
No, I do understand year one. I do understand that stuff, but that doesn't factor of the part that Bruce Wayne is a really, really intelligent individual. Like he's supposed to be a detective first and Batman second. Like that's what makes him so impressive is his intelligence. Like even in the concept of it, like when you break down what's his superpower if you break it down? It's all
Huh.
based on his intelligence,
Right.
right? And his strategy. He's a really, really good strategic person. And the first thing that they do is they give him a picture of the the politician guy that's with the girl that gets murdered at the club, right?
Yeah.
And he never thinks, where was this picture taken from? You know what I mean? Like that's at the beginning of the movie. He never looks at it and goes, "Wait, who took the photo and where did they take it from?" And then he go to there. That's literally the Joker's or the Riddler's room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have been fucking the first 5 minutes of the movie. It would have solved everything just in the beginning of the damn film. But he never do the vantage point, and I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird. He never takes into consideration about the rata, which is the rat, the bat, or whatever, the bat with wings. He actually gets told that answer by the penguin underneath the bridge when he's with Commissioner Gordon. And they both figure it out when the penguin gives them the answer. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Mind you, the commissioner and Batman let the penguin go at that moment after they killed like 13 people on the expressway.
Eh.
You're like, did they though? Did
Did they
they?
though?
I
Exactly.
didn't see no bodies. I just saw a giant fucking truck explode and Batman fly over that bitch. But you see what I'm saying, right? There was a lot of like really weird things that happened in that movie.
Right.
And then imagine John or yourself going up to some random dude that's asking you about the movie if you liked it, and you say, "Oh no, that was in the Elseworld dimension." The person's gonna look at you and be like, "The what? The fuck is that? What do you mean the Elseworld?" You know what I mean? Like it's really awkward, but it's okay. Like I wasn't. I think the only problem with that film because I really wanted them to use that Batman for the movies.
I don't.
Did you like him or no?
I thought he's the best Batman, but I just don't
Which one?
want him to just
What's his name?
Patch.
The one from Twilight, right?
Yeah, I thought he was the
I thought
best
he did
Batman.
good.
I
I
just
thought he
don't
did
want him.
good.
I don't particularly don't want him as the.
Robert Patterson, right? Robert.
Yeah, I particularly don't want him as the new Batman because
You
the
don't
new
think that he would
Batman
go
is
good with this new Superman guy?
no,
Wow, I thought they would do good. I thought they wouldn't
because
be that bad together.
one Dame the time plane time and time frame of him and Damian are and how this new universe is set as well is that they are. I'm losing a lot of words real quick. Second.
That's fine. That's
Um,
fine.
basically, they're in a time frame where they're older and the Bat family is being established,
Mhm.
and that Batman is just beginning.
True. I understand this.
So it wouldn't really make sense, and there would have to be a massive time jump, like a massive time jump in the movie. And with the Penguin series coming out, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's only jumped a couple months or a couple days after.
Sure. True.
So it really wouldn't make sense to get him in for the new universe unless they finish the trilogy and maybe get it by 2031 or 2032
I think in some way,
for
if we
Brave
do
and the
like
Bold.
a multiverse, they'll bring this guy back to be Batman again.
Right.
I think so.
I could see that for like a what's it called?
Crisis.
Yeah, the Crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing with the Snyderverse stuff too. Like I feel like I don't feel this is the last time we'll ever see um Henry
Affleck,
Cavill
yeah.
and Gal
Or Aff
Gadot.
Yeah.
Like
I would agree. They might be
Ben
come back
Affleck.
for
I don't
Crisis.
think Ben Affleck would come back.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like Henry Cavill would, and so would Gal Gadot. And it's a really great opportunity for them with like the separation of like this, like I said, like the when they do the Crisis stuff, it gives people the opportunity to go back in nostalgia. It's the same thing. Like everybody got excited to see. Like I told people, like Nicolas Cage of all people, like as Superman. Like why he wasn't even Superman for reals, and people were still excited. So, but it is what it is. So,
Him fighting the big spider in the Flash.
right, so weird.
Hmm.
But yeah, well, I hope that they end up keeping Matt Reeves and he ends up helping him with the Brave and the Bold, the Batman movie, because I think he'd do a fantastic job since he nailed the Batman character and the cast and the Rogue Gallery so well in the movie The Batman. So hopefully they bring him back.
One last
Um,
thing. One
yes,
last
sir.
topic.
Go for it.
Peacemaker season 2.
Oh shit! I haven't seen the trailer, man. What did you think?
You have the pull it up.
No, I can't do that right now because they'll fucking kill us podcast, man. They always do that shit. I always get hit with that shit. I know you don't, but I always do.
Oh man.
But what'd you think? I mean, being a fan of DC, are you
I'll
excited
pull
to
it
see
up
something coming
after
in?
the pull it up after fun. Um well it gave me everything I wanted to see. It gave me glimpses of the new season. New
Okay.
characters, same characters. Um I don't want to give it too much because I want you to see it. So,
Yeah, we'll check it out a
but
little
like,
bit when we go to our when we go do the Last of Us watch party again.
right.
Mm-hmm. We'll go check it
It
out.
gave me everything I wanted to see. So, without getting into context,
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'll make sure I take it off. If you're excited to see it, and I know the first season did well, and Brian and Triggs loved it, I myself
it
have to be
does
excited
come
to watch
August
it also.
21st.
Yeah, I myself have to be excited to watch it also. So of course I'm going to check it out too. So I'll make sure I check that out. And guys, if you haven't seen it, the trailer for Peacemaker 2 is out. Make sure you go check it out. Apparently there's a really nice Easter egg that combines with the Superman story or whatnot. So go check it out. Very, very interesting. Guys, we are about to head off. We just reached 10:30, which is our time. And we're going to go do a little watch party. Me and the boys have been meeting up here every Sunday after the podcast to watch The Last of Us's new episode. The story itself has been remarkably very close to the video game. Really, really tight. Some stuff has been changed, but they've been doing fairly well with it. It hasn't been taken very well by people out in society. Like people aren't really going for like a lot of
Lots of
stuff in the game.
scissors.
But you have to remember that this
Yep.
is the major point that we've always talked about, where if things in history in other mediums are not accepted by society in some way, it's going to have turmoil if it's brought into live action. This goes with the Captain Marvel character. This goes with the Marvels character, the Kamala Khan character, the Jane Foster, the Miles Morales, which has been accepted a lot better because of the Spider-Verse. This goes off of all of the comic books that you've ever thought of in that nature, where during that time frame, if those comic book characters did not sell, it's a hard sell to sell it in live action. We're going to see that also in the most horrendous way when Ironheart pops off and no one gives a shit about it. Um, and you know what? I was just talking about that to Brian or someone. I think maybe even you and I talked about it. That they're going to put some fucking money behind that. And it's going to look a million times better than Daredevil in the sense of what it looks like production wise. even though that money should have been shared with Daredevil also,
Right.
because this character again doesn't have any fucking stilts to stand on in the Marvel universe. I still don't know how they're trying to force us to, because that's the thing. She's not even in Secret Wars. Same thing with like a bunch. Well, no, yeah, she's not in Secret Wars. The Sentry wasn't in Secret Wars. Uh, there's some other characters too that were never in Secret Wars that they're trying to shoehorn in. And I don't know how the fuck the Young Avengers, the entire Young Avengers, some of the Thunderbolts aren't even in. They're not even catering to the idea of them being in the Thunderbolts or in the Secret Wars story at all. So I don't even know how they're going to shoehorn these characters in unless they're going to use those characters to replace bigger named characters from the comic book, which is going to get shit on. It's going to get hyper shit on. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I feel that I feel like The Last of Us is in the same situation as that, which is during this time in video game history, The Last of Us game was not really accepted well. So again, Pedro Pascal was a big name, a big pull. They had him going. A lot of people love him. He ends up, I don't want to ruin anything if you haven't seen it, but something happens to him in the second episode. And a lot of people just they're not sticking with it because there's no one that's really, really pulling the fucking reins on this shit. So we'll just have to see how it goes, right?
For sure.
So yeah, we're gonna get started in a little bit. Derpy's gonna put up a post, or not a post, but you'll put like a comment with the link and stuff like that in a little bit, so you guys can jump on and join us if you'd like. If not, then yeah. Vince says he saw the Ironheart leak trailer and there is a cameo we've been waiting for. All I can say is, and then he says nothing. Vince, don't do this to me, Vince. What cameo are you talking about? Don't tell me Doctor Doom, because I know he's in the comic book as Supreme, or what is it? The Supreme Iron Man, or whatever the fuck he is. Don't tell me it's Adam Brashear. I'll choke a motherfucker out, dude. There's so many people. I'm just hoping he's not. But you got to let me know, Vince. You got to let me know. Just put it out here. No one's gonna watch that show anyways, dude. You're not gonna ruin anything. You're not gonna ruin anything if no one's gonna watch it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll make the post up in a little bit for people who want to join us to watch. Oh, you're talking about the cloak guy? No, that's not like, he ain't no real famous villain unless you're talking about Mephisto. Mephisto gives the cloak the power, but he's not like. That's not really like a big cameo. It's like everybody kind of knows that's how he gets the cloak. Guy gets the cloak in the first place. So I thought you were gonna say Ghost Rider in general was gonna be in it. Man, if they put Ghost Rider in fucking Ironheart, I'm gonna fucking shit, dude. I'm just gonna shit wherever I'm at that moment. I'm just gonna shit. I don't care where I'm at. I'll be at HEB or a Walmart. I'll just shit in the floor. But Mephisto, the way you spelled it.
Yep.
My fisto in your butto. Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, yeah, Ironheart's gonna be ridiculous. But yeah, guys, if you want, Derpy will put up in the chat or something in the video the link and stuff. What's up?
I sent it to you on Instagram so you can send it in the chat.
Okay, let me get it. Let me get the link real quick. I'll put it up in the group chat so in case anybody wants to join us and hang out and watch the episode 5 or whatever. Right?
Okay. Who's ready for some scissors?
What?
Said who's ready for some scissors?
Who's ready for some dulling of the scissors? There you go. So in case anybody wants to join us, go and watch the film with us. If not, also on the Twitch comment, or if you guys want, I usually post up the video streaming to Twitch. Just go look me up. Crispy, The Average Boys, all of it together, no space in between. You guys can watch it with us there too if you guys have Twitch and you guys just want to join us there. Other than that, Derps, thank you, man, for being in this with me and sticking with me. The boys were all enjoying Mother's Day with their families. Shout out to Brian D and shout out to Triggs. Hope you guys are doing good and enjoying your guys' Mother's Day with your families and stuff. And yeah, Derps, thank you so much. And everybody that's out there, don't forget Derpy Entertainment, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Where else? Everywhere. Instagram.
Dirtman2929.
Yeah, make sure you guys hit them up. And yeah, we'll see you guys next Sunday here on the Average Boys podcast. To all our extraordinary listeners, we appreciate every one of you. We hope you guys are safe. We hope you guys enjoyed your Mother's Day today. And yeah, we'll see you guys again here next Sunday on the show. Thank you guys so much for always supporting us. We'll see you later. Peace.
Peace.